100 to many is defined as a century, to many is defined as $1, to many is defined as ceremonial. I'm a new kid on the block. I've been on YouTube for a while, but since I recently got into the video posting industry, it's almost like I'm making it like it's a porno or something, but anyway, since I've gotten into the video scene, you know, the first few videos I did, I didn't think it would really be a big deal, but now that I look back, even when I did that first stupid video where I'm just panning my apartment, and if any of y'all want to look at that, it's the first video I have posted literally, so it was me just messing around with the cam. But anyway, from that, and then I finally decided, well, you know, I had a webcam, but I didn't really want to use it, so I went and got one and felt that blogging or video logging or whatever would be my way of kind of expressing myself. And here we are, I guess, been now probably about 4 or 5 months later, and I made it to 100, and I'm shocked, yet I'm impressed, because I didn't expect to get this far with doing videos. I just thought it would be something I would do and keep going. I'm doing this part, but I do want to get into my topic that I was going to address. But before I did that, I wanted to at least, you know, thank everybody, whoever is a friend, whoever is a subscriber, anybody who just stops by my page and looks at videos. All of that's fine. I'm not that difficult about this. You know, somebody asked me yesterday, why do I post videos? And honestly, I said, you know, I post videos because it's what I like to do. And for me, it's not about, you know, if you know, some people get like 1,000, 2,000 hits on videos. I could care less about that. If I get, you know, 100, if 100 views come to my video and at least 1 or 2 people comment, then I feel like I've done something. So just some little food for thought, and a way to kind of get you all to understand how I'm looking at it and what it means to me. All in all, man, it's been a ride. It's been a unique journey, and I can't say it any more than, you know, any of y'all that's been on hand seeing how I've been doing it, you know that I haven't been messing around. It's been literally no joke. Like, I've gone through my peak points, I've gone through my low points, and it's just been a good journey. Yesterday I got in the mail, I got a game, retro video game to some, but for me it was like brought back true memories, because I'm getting ready to get back into my whole DDR kick. I hadn't played that in literally about almost 3 years, and now that I'm back on that, that'll help me out a little bit in trying to get some sort of shape in going, because I've been doing just been playing basketball once in a while. But if I can get back into DDR, that'll help me out in 2 ways, because it kept me on my feet and it balanced out, here comes my Scrabble word, the equilibrium. So it kind of helped me out a lot, especially when on the court. You know, I was very balanced, and I could play out of control. It seemed like I was out of control, but I had control of my game. So DDR had a lot to do with that. So now that I'm back into doing that, that'll help me out a lot. A few days ago, they had a memorial or a program honoring my sister's passing, and that was very different. I felt bad I had to leave early, so hopefully if my sisters or anybody in the family is watching, my apologies. You know, family always is going to be first, but work got to mingle in there at some point. You know, you definitely put God in your life, and you can't do wrong. Wow, I'm like really rambling and getting excited because I'm on the 100 video, but I do have a discussion, and I do have a topic. I've done a lot of videos, and I've done a lot of things, and I've talked to a lot of my friends about it. I've done blogs about it. I've vented and ranted and raved and gotten frustrated with a lot of relationships because of it, but I haven't had that video posted yet to explain to you all a topic that's very dear to me. I did this as a direct cam upload last night to one of the ladies, Stacy. Your videos, man, every time I watch them, I'm just in like awe, because you definitely stick to the realness and you put it out there as to what is going on with relationships and with people and ways that we can improve ourselves. And you know, we got to do it ourselves. You know, even with you telling us is good, but we got to go and take the steps to go for what's better. Sometimes it takes that inspirational word to get us going. For me, it's like I said, I listen to the radio a lot of times in the morning. That's my kick. But I'm gonna stop ranting and rambling. Let me get into my point. There are three people who are involved in a relationship. There is one party, there's the other party, and there's the missing interpreter. Now, the reason I'm saying all this, and I'm sorry if I'm like looking away because I'm trying to I'm doing, you know how men have a tendency, guilty as charged, to multitask. There's one party, the other party, and the third party that comes and goes in a relationship is the missing interpreter. And I'm going to give you my best description. Like, it's no need even trying. You can look online, you can look at Urban Dictionary, you can look in Wikipedia, do whatever you want, but there are so many ways to look at how the missing interpreter can help, hurt, affect, impact relationships beyond belief. And this isn't just with anybody you're dating. This is even down to people you talk to on a daily basis. Like, when it comes to your family, we don't realize all it takes is for that one word or that one sentence to be misinterpreted, and you're thrown off for life. Having that missing interpreter kick into play is important, and the reason why is because, okay, for example, I have a member of my family that at one time we really didn't socialize, and I think it was because that missing interpreter kind of was in play. But now it's kind of been, time has passed, things have changed. The routine is modified largely, and now it's almost on the basis of we can run into each other and we'll speak, we can have conversations, things like that. And everybody you can't do that with. And I think you have to almost realize that in order for you to have a good connection with somebody, that missing interpreter has to be there. The missing interpreter has to no longer be missing and be an interpreter to break down things between one person and another. And that, not to get religious, because I'm going to let y'all know one thing about me that I've said it probably in a few videos, but I want it to be clear. I don't get on a religious kick, because I think a lot of people do that, saying Yahweh and praise be and whatever, but in the spiritual mindset is where you want to really get your connection going. And it's like, when it comes to us talking to God, or when it comes to us talking to whoever our higher being is, we don't communicate in a way that is clearly understood. And sometimes the missing interpreter shows up in that picture as well, and we don't realize it. So it goes kind of back to the main point, in the sense of, in order for us to make things work with people, we have to understand them, and we have to make sure that they understand us. The only way we're going to do that is by communicating or by asking. Sometimes you don't want to ask questions because you want to avoid stepping on toes. Been there, done that. When you first talk to somebody, you always want to feel them out because you want to be sure you're saying the right things, or the right things come off with the right tone or the right mode. I've dated somebody where literally every time we'd either be on the phone or in person, and it would be, I don't appreciate your tone. And it's like, unless you are a tone expert, you just can get screwed up with that. And, it can sometimes, the people who throw that tone kick are the same ones that's on that same tone high themselves and don't realize it. As I always say, that's another video. But you just, when you're talking to somebody, or when someone's talking to you, you just have to be sure that what you're saying and what they say to you makes sense, so that when you walk away from that conversation, or when you end that discussion, you can say, okay, I understood what BT was talking about, or BT understood what I said. So we don't get too caught up in the mix-ups and the know-hows of what we think somebody's saying. It's better off to know what a person is really saying than to try to assume what they're saying, because by doing that, it scatters the whole process, and you go past reinventing the wheel. You're like damaging the wheel to the point of no return. So I'm going to cap that off. Words I'm going to leave you. And this one will be unique in so many ways, and I'm hoping it'll be heard, because I've done videos and I've noticed that what I say doesn't even get heard in the end. But here we go. Making an attempt to talk to someone can be very difficult, but what's even more difficult is when you don't try to make time to talk to someone, to get them to understand how you feel and for you to understand how they feel. Communication is key. Without communication, there's nothing. Like, you don't have anything. Communication and being comfortable and being consistent, for me, are things that just are standard. And like I said, thank y'all again, making it to 100. I got another 100 I'm still trying to pump out, because 200 is my goal by the end of the year. I know that some people, they don't really have a goal. For me, I got a personal goal. If I can get I got 600 views between all my videos, and I feel like I've done something, because most videos I get on an average about 3 views. Some videos get lower views, some videos get plenty of views. So, you know, view how you believe, see how you find fit, and y'all stay safe. Blood, sweat, and tears, man. Mad love, alright? Thanks again. Peace.